After a wild and unpredictable weekend at Talladega in multiple senses of the word, the 1UP Nitro National Series playoffs heads out west to the Denver Motorsports Park road course for 17 laps around this very fast but also very technical 3.7-mile circuit that has played host to some great races over the years and could very well be the last time we come here, so might as well send it off with a big bang. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action for today's racing action is Duke Ansack with us once again. It's good to be back at Denver, potentially for the final time, but while we're here, these Nitro National drivers, they've handled this track before, but with the points as close as they are right now, I imagine the stakes are as high as they've ever been for these guys.
Oh yeah, and coming out of a race like Talladega where the track, it's not so technical. I mean, it's a different kind of racing. It's a very strategic type of racing, like a chess match at high speed, but of course we had a bit of a chaotic race, and we're coming out of that now into a very technical and fast road course, a unique kind of beast here at Denver Motorsports Park. 18 turns here today. It is going to be a big challenge for a lot of these drivers to navigate, and with so much on the line, it is going to be extremely fascinating to see what everybody does, how they handle this race, and how they're able to keep their nose clean and stay up front.
And with a quick look at those points that I talked about, they are tighter than they've ever been in these playoffs. Jake McMillan DNF'd last time out at Talladega. His points lead has been slashed, but to just 8 points ahead of Mac Johnson and AJ Zhao, both of whom tied for second in the points. Alexa Lucian only 18 points behind. Ryan Reed, Cameron Brennan, they're tied at 22 points back. And I would especially not discount that 86 of Cameron Brennan, because this is his last opportunity to win a road course race in the Nitro National Series. We know he's moving on to Superstar next year. This would be a great way to sign things off.
Absolutely, and he could really use a win today. Only 22 points back. I mean, we've got a bunch of drivers, I would argue 7 or 8 drivers, who are absolutely in contention at this moment to win the championship based on the points that they have. And, we were talking about it, and really the top 11 of the 12 playoff drivers are within a race of our leader, Jake McMillan. I mean, it is a fantastic competition that we have right now, and Jake McMillan having that DNF last week has only added fuel to the fire for all of these other drivers. They can see it, they can taste it, they can smell it. That championship is within reach for almost all of these drivers, and there's a lot of them that have qualified near the front.
And with only 4 races remaining in this Nitro National Series season, 3 after today, there's no better time than now to get some momentum going so you can build towards a championship at season's end. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 17 laps of racing action here at Denver, we get Eric DeMax on pole position. This is a fantastic opportunity for the Korean driver to get his maiden win in Nitro National Series competition. He's come close a couple times, but this would be a really good day to make it happen. Kanalka in the 7 lines up alongside him, the one non-playoff driver in the first 4 rows. AJ Zhao lines up 3rd. He's been strong on the road courses this season, got a win at Eagle Point earlier this year. McMillan 4th. He needs a big day today to extend that points lead a little further. Brandon Smith rounding out the top 5. But like we said, we've got so many playoff drivers at the front of the field. All 12 of them have actually qualified in the first 17 spots. So there's not a lot of room for error should something go wrong, perhaps in the early stages.
No, definitely not. I mean, this is a front half of the field, heavy field right now with all of our playoff drivers, like you said. And this is going to be fascinating to see how everybody manages this. Are they going to be a little bit more calm? Maybe if there's a non-playoff driver that's fighting for a spot, just let him go for now. Don't get yourself in trouble early in this race. We'll see what happens. I'm so excited. I really am. I think that this is going to be a fantastic race. This is going to be a challenging race for all these playoff drivers, and I think that there is a chance that we have a big swing in points in this race and possibly even a new points leader when it's all said and done.
So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to take on the Denver Motorsports Park road course, and we're ready to bring you that action now. It is the 1UP Nitro National Series playoff race from the Denver Motorsports Park, and we're ready to bring you the action. It's all coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned, folks. Don't want to miss a second of it. Getting set for something big here at Denver. It is DeMax and Kanalka on row 1. Pace car pulls off. Field makes its way through the final chicane. We are up and ready to roll. Getting set to head into the restart zone, which they're at now. Green flag in the air. And for 17 laps, the Nitro National Series takes on the Denver Motorsports Park Road Course. And DeMax gets an excellent start off the line. He is going to lead the charge down into turn 1. It's going to be a long way to go at top speed until the heavy braking zone that is turn 3.
Yeah, that's a really good start from DeMax, and here comes AJ Zhao on the inside from behind, and this should be good to possibly get the second position away from that second row.
Diving it off now into the first braking zone, turn 3. DeMax is clear for the lead. Zhao will be clear for second out of turn 4. Kanalka looks like they'll have to settle into third position as Brandon Smith now goes after the 7. The Japanese driver for the third position is Jake McMillan in the 21, trying to make some headway in his battle for the championship. Remember, those points are oh so close going into the day.
Yeah, and he had that bad week last week. He did DNF at Talladega, so this is going to be a critical race for him. He needs to get some points here. He needs to stay ahead of all these playoff drivers to be able to keep that lead he has. It's down to only 8 points.
Yeah, as they make their way now down through turn 10, it will be AJ Zhao chasing Eric DeMax through that corner. McMillan has gotten back past Brandon Smith to move up into the 4th spot as Zhao takes a peek going into turn 12, but I don't think he's quite close enough. He's going to give it a shot, but he's going to compromise his exit upon doing so.
Yeah, it's really tough to make that move right there, but it is a really good passing zone if you can enter high and then cut low through the middle of the corner. Oh, and we got some damage in the back of the field.
Yeah, a little bit of an accident in the infield section. It looks like Andrew Langley, Elijah Ironhouse, Wyatt O'Quinn were the cars involved in this. I would expect all 3 to make a visit to pit road by the end of this lap. But making their way through the final chicane to complete the first lap of the race, it is Eric DeMax out in command of this race by not that much, honestly, over his teammate AJ Zhao. This Venta Motorsport team has come to play here today.
And Kanalka is one of the only non-playoff cars in this front group here. If we get a really wide shot of the whole field, you'll be able to see all the blue spoilers, there they are, that are in the front of the field right now. So that just means it's more and more difficult for all these drivers to gain points on each other when they're all running so well.
As it looks like everybody in that early accident has made their way down to the pit lane to assess their damages, see what they can do to repair it, as looks like O'Quinn's already back out and he's rolling. Ironhouse I would expect to follow him through. Langley probably has the most damage. He'll be there for a little while longer.
Yeah, he will, and this is a disappointing way to start your race. It's also kind of a way to end your race. You know, you just have to go back out there, put some hot laps down. I don't know if they'll be able to catch the back of the field at all, but, you know, if there's another incident on track, they should be able to gain some positions that way. So just a tough start for all those drivers.
The good news is you won't be able to won't necessarily lose a lap if you pit like that. So they may be off pace for the rest of the day and they may lose a lap later, but they're not going to lose a lap immediately, which is good news if something were to occur up front and they can pass a few cars that way, like you said. But back onto the oval to complete lap 2, it is Eric DeMax leading the charge through oval 3 and 4, road course 14 and 15, before another braking zone coming up, the final chicane, as McMillan, we see now trying to close in on Kanalka for third, but he's a little ways back to try and make a move into this corner.
Yeah, this is just, you know, we can go on a lap around this Denver Motorsports Park road course here. It's a huge track. I mean, we've got 18 corners of just intense racing, and it's almost like 2 different tracks in one. Here you've got this big oval section. You run a lot of the oval here at Denver, but you know, you're at full speed right here. It's a big drafting area, and we're going to see the 12 car get a big run here down into our first heavy braking zone of the lap, turn 3. Is he going to make the move? I don't think so, but turn 3 sets you up for turn 4 right here, and this is a critical corner on the track, and we see the 12 go a little bit wide. It's very easy to go wide out of turn 4 here at Denver, and it's a bad way to go. You just lose a lot of time. We saw the 16 with a really tight exit, and he was able to keep his speed up, and now he goes a little bit around the middle lane in turn 6 after they went through turn 5. It's a bit of a straightaway turn, and that leads down into this 7, 8, 9 complex where you go down into some S's. Really intense part of this track. It is very technical in the infield section, and that sets you up perfectly for our sweeping banked corner, turn 10, and that leads to 11, 12, and 13 back onto the oval.
Yeah, and I noticed Eric DeMax, the last couple laps, has been taking that wider line through turn 6. I think that's just where his car is most comfortable running. But it's worked for him. He's had the lead of this race throughout so far, and he's kept his teammate at bay for now. And these two are actually doing a solid job at keeping Kanauka and McMillan behind them. They've put a bit of distance between themselves, the 7 and the 21. But for AJ Zhao in particular in second place, this is a big deal for him to be out in front of this 21 because he only entered this race 8 points back. And as they run right now, that gap would go down quite a bit.
Yeah, it would. And this is like you said, it's just a critical race. I mean, the 21 car, if he were able to get a few more positions here in this one, he would be able to keep that lead pretty handily. But because Zhao is so close, only 8 points back going into this race, that, just 2 positions is exactly where you need to be ahead of the 21.
Because remember, second place in this race is worth 5 more points than third, so as they run right now, he would close that gap to approximately for 2 points between himself and McMillan before they head to Las Vegas next time out. But checking a little further back, Cameron Brennan's actually done a really good job catching up to this group of 4 in the lead. He currently has the fastest lap of the race as it stands right now, and he's right on the back of McMillan now for 4th. And this 86, he's doing a good job. We expect him to on the road courses. This is his bread and butter style of racing. And he only entered this race 22 points behind, so it wouldn't really surprise me that much to see him really make up some ground if he can get past that 21.
It's a massive opportunity for Cameron Brennan today. I mean, you have to make up some points here. This is obviously, the track type of your preference, so it is critical to make up those points at your best track type so that when you are able to have a good run at those other places, you're going to be A-okay and you're going to be in a better situation. So Cameron Brennan already made a pass today on Brandon Smith. That was early in this race on lap 1. And now he is chasing down Jake McMillan, the one who he is chasing in this championship. In fact, everybody's chasing the 21 car.
But they're all chasing Eric DeMax currently in this race. They have a lot of this race left to go. We're only just about to hit a quarter of the way through this thing, but DeMax is doing a good job holding these guys off. He's also a very good road racing driver. He's proved that before he even came to 1-Up Racing, but now he is demonstrating it here at Denver, leading all 4 laps of this race. AJ Zaldo is no slouch on the road courses either. You flash back to Eagle Point earlier this year. He won his first career race that day.
Yeah, and Zhao has been keeping up with the 16. Right now he's a little bit farther behind, but obviously they're both in this same camera shot here, and the view is showing the 12 closing in on the 16. And these two, of course, they're running the same equipment, but they're not running the same line around this track. You can see the 12, he just continues to miss turn 4 and go a little bit wide, and look at how much of a gap the 16 gets going into turn 6 because of that. And you were right, a couple laps ago you mentioned he's going wide through turn 6 the whole way. I think he's doing that kind of like an outside lane at Martinsville situation. You can get it's not the fastest way around, but if you get on the throttle soon enough and you get that car to rotate just right, you can carry a lot of momentum down, and that sets you up for the 7, 8, 9 and all the way down here into turn 10. It's a huge momentum gain for the 16, and that is keeping him far ahead of the 12 car in this race.
Yeah, and he's pulled a bit of a margin over AJ Zhao. Zhao's gained a little bit of it back since, but nothing to worry about for DeMax. Zhao is not in a really big position to make a lunge down into the chicane, for example. But back onto the oval they go through 14 and 15, and I think Eric DeMax is just a little bit better in the first part of the lap, from the start-finish line probably down to about 7 to the 7, 8, 9 chicane. But AJ Zhao seems to make it up a lot right here going down into the final chicane. See how he gained a little bit, but he did lose a little on exit.
Yeah, it's a good entry. I think the 12 is really good on corner entry. We saw that in turn 3. And then, of course, that could be why he's hurting on the exit of turn 4 as well. And that's where he's losing a lot of his time. But here's a battle for the 3rd position. It is Kanauka and the 21 of Jake McMillan. And this is this is going to be an interesting battle as they go down into turn 3 here. We'll see the 21, what he can do with the 7 car.
And he also just set the fastest lap of the race as well. Ooh, and he gets
there he goes.
Sends Kanauka a little wide through turn 4. That's going to give him a big opportunity. He's ahead for now, but down into turn 6. This is where the main action is going to happen in this fight for 3rd place.
Wow, so Kanauka now, he's got to keep it low here, but he's got to keep enough momentum to slip ahead of the 21. You don't want to be side by side. Wow, and he did it. What a great move. The 21, I don't believe that McMillan was expecting to have to run the outside through turn 6 there. He did, but he just wasn't prepared for that completely. So the 7, running the bottom lane, the normal lane around that corner, was able to slip ahead of him. And now that pass attempt was in vain for the 21 car. We'll see if he's able to get back up there. But that is a tough break because the 21, if he had been able to make that pass, he would have been able to start a charge on AJ Zhao. But now he's still going to have to work on Kanauka. Oh, man, it is just so difficult to pass here at Denver. And when you have an opportunity as good as that one, you really don't want to waste it like that.
No, you don't. And they took full opportunity. Kanauka seized the moment and capitalized, stayed ahead of McMillan for the rest of this lap. And now drawing a beat on AJ Zhao for 2nd place. This 7 car is no slouch on the road courses either. Remember, flashback to Sonoma last year, they found themselves in victory lane on that occasion. The only win of their career up to this point. But I've noticed the top 5, they're distancing themselves quite a bit from 6th place Brandon Smith. He's about 3.7 seconds off the lead, and he might be a bit of a cork in the bottle to all those behind him that are trying to queue up to make a pass.
Yeah, this is, Brandon Smith, like you said. I mean, if you look at just the leaderboard that we have here, or we're going to watch him now, this is a big gap ahead of Brandon Smith, and then a lot of cars kind of condensed up right behind him. That is a good indicator that it's a slow car ahead. And here's McMillan going to try another pass on the 7 car, and this is another opportunity. He's the same place as he did last lap. Let's see what he can do on the outside this time. Maybe he'll be expecting to run that line.
The difference.
7's going to get blocked too. He's got.
Yeah, I was going to say that difference there is AJ Zhao is directly ahead of them, and now Cameron Brennan's hot on their heels in the 86. Wow. So we got 4 cars under a blanket for 2nd, really 5 under a blanket for the race lead. So this race far from over. We're about to take the halfway lap, either next time by or the time after that. But for these top 5, it is a bloodbath out there.
Yeah, it's been pretty intense for the last couple of laps, and I'm pretty surprised that McMillan wasn't able to make any more headway on that same move that he had on Kanauka. I mean, he was expecting to run the outside lane, but now look at this. I mean, he didn't make the move. He lost it even earlier in the corner than he did last time, and now he's under fire from the 86 car. There he goes to the bottom.
Yeah, Brennan's going to need to time this carefully because he doesn't want to risk wrecking his car and costing him a chance at a championship in the process. Remember, this is the last road course race of the season. This is his last opportunity to show what his best kind of racing is at. But he keeps it clean through the final chicane, and he stays within striking distance of the 21. That's going to give him a good shot down in the turn 3.
Yeah, that was all. If it were later in the race, I would expect the 86 to make that move and kind of force the 21 to make a decision there. But that time he just he kept it clean, he kept it tidy, and he ended up keeping the 5th position as well.
Meanwhile, up ahead, the battle for 2nd rages on between AJ Zhao and Kanauka in the 7. They've both started to run down the 16 at the max, who's held the lead throughout this race. But I think if Zhao can shake off the 7 and start trying to focus on the 16 ahead of him, I think that 12 car could be a real factor today.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be so easy to just shake off the 7. This is a fast car in the 3rd position. I mean, it's going to be tough for the 12 car to create a lot of a gap, especially now that the 7 is he's felt the pressure from behind and he has fended it off twice before. I think that he is feeling as good as he's felt all day in that 7 car, and now he's going to try to take that position away from the 12. He's started to fall back a little bit here, but don't count him out. This whole top 5 group of cars is really having a fantastic day so far. They are all fighting tooth and nail for every spot.
But so far, they remain in the same positions they've been in for a while. Just goes to show how difficult it is to complete a pass here. You can start one fairly easily, but making it all the way around to complete the pass, that is where it gets tricky. As look at the Max out of that corner. He just pulls a huge gap out on AJ Zhao, but Zhao seems to make it a lot of time up going into on the brakes going into the chicane right here.
Yeah, and it's kind of a tale of two drivers right here. I mean, look at that. The 12 gains so much time on corner entry. You see him close in, but the 16 then just starts to drive away, and that is critical here at Denver Motorsports Park. I think there are a lot of road courses where corner entry speed is going to outweigh and outlast that corner exit momentum, but look at how long you carry that momentum out of the corner. I mean, there's still full throttle carrying that speed all the way around the track. I think the 16 has a bit of an advantage right now.
And meanwhile, looking further back, we can see Braden Varga here in this 9 car. He started down in 11th position, so he's already gained 4 spots in this race and done a very good job in the process, but now he's got this 92 in front of him who's been pretty tricky to pass, I'd have to say, so far in this race. But he's got Jensen Nomina right behind him in the 62 as well, so Varga's going to have to make that pass pretty quickly if he's going to have any chance at setting off after the top 5.
You're right. He's been really fast today. I mean, he started in 11th, like you said, and now he's all the way up to 7th place. I mean, that's a lot of passing to do on this track, so we know that he is able to pass cars. But, yeah, Brandon Smith has been, like you said, the cork in the bottle in the 6th position today for everybody behind. I mean, just nobody has been able to get by him. He's just fast enough to kind of hold everybody up, but also not really be somebody you can pass. And the 9 car is going to have to get by him pretty quickly here. We're running out of laps in this race, so if he wants to have a shot at these guys up front, he's going to have to get by Brandon Smith pretty quickly.
Well, we're past halfway now, and we're looking a little further back, see where everybody else is at. Of course, we'd be remiss in this race if we didn't mention the events of last week at Talladega as well for this Crossroads racing team, especially their number 11 car. We've got Ludovic Charette in the car for this race and for the rest of the season. Charette will be driving this car full-time next year, but just making it to the racetrack this week after all they've been through with the crash, with the injuries, with everything to report on from their point of view, just getting here and making laps on this racetrack is a huge victory for them.
No, you're totally right. And this car is just, I mean, it's great to see the 11 car out on track. We're wishing Skylar Taylor best of recovery.
And Tyler Resendez as well. That's who drove this car.
Yes, of course. And, you know, it's just tough because this is a situation where, I mean, obviously this driver is going to change in the 11 car for next year, but it's going to be, you know, just getting used to that and kind of getting over what happened last week now and just kind of reframing your mind of what the rest of the season even looks like for them. So great to see them at the track and even in this race at all.
Absolutely. We're wishing Tyler Resendez all the best, but for now he's watching. We're doing his best to watch as Ludovic Charette drives his car for the rest of this season. But back at the front of the field, the top 5 separated by about 2 seconds on the racetrack, with McMillan chasing down Kanalka for 3rd. That's the closest between 2 cars in this group. But Brennan, I would not be surprised if he, later in this race, tries to make a move on this 21, because he knows every point matters.
Yeah, he does, and this is a critical race for him. I mean, to come back from DNF at Talladega, it's great to be running in the top 5, but you have that 12 car who is one of your top competitors right now in the championship standings. Of course, Mac Johnson also only 8 points back, but he is a little bit farther back in this race right now. So critically, the 12 car ahead of the 21 right now, gaining points, and it's going to be really, really close if the positions don't change for the rest of this race coming out in the standings.
Look at this, though. AJ Zhao gained a little bit of time on Eric DeMax out of that final corner. We'll see what the gap is at the line. It was 0.7 of a second. Now it's down to 4. So DeMax is losing time to AJ Zhao, at least on that lap, and he's pulling Kanalka along in that 7. I've noticed as well that Braden Vargas still stuck behind Brandon Smith, by the way. That they're probably going to have some words after this race for Brandon Smith because he's I know he's doing what he can in that car, and he should be defending every position he can. But I don't think the 9's going to be particularly pleased about it.
No, I think that it's really tough to be stuck behind somebody for a while, especially at a road course, especially when you've got so much speed and you could go up there and compete with these guys for the top positions, but you're just trapped back there. And he's got a long road ahead of him. Of course, if he were to pass the 92 even now, he still has to gain a lot of time before he even gets to the top 5. So it's tough for the 9 car right now. He's just got to keep it cool under the helmet. And then if he can make that pass, then he's going to be on his way.
Yeah, and even if he does make that pass, he's going to have to contend with Brennan, with McMillan. Even if he gets there, he's going to have to pass the 86, the 21, the 7, which we don't know the max speed of that car. So it's going to be interesting to see if he gets past the 92, what he can do once he gets past.
Yeah, absolutely. So meanwhile, back up front, I mean, here's Eric DeMax, who has led this whole race, and now we're beyond the halfway point, and not a ton of laps left in this one. You're counting them down, and I don't know, the car is handling the worst that it has been handling. Here's Andrew Langley, really slow on the front straightaway.
They're coming up to lap him pretty soon.
Yeah, they will be. So that's going to be, I guess that I was about to kind of talk about what the next thing he's going to be thinking about is in this race, that he's starting to feel that car handle a little bit differently with the older tires and less fuel load. But I bet he's going to be starting to think about Andrew Langley and hoping that he doesn't catch him in a bad spot to allow the 12 car to go by. We'll see what happens with that. But of course, it's only one lap car, but we should see a bit of an action moment when they're attempting to pass him.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a big focal point of this race so far because Langley's way off pace compared to these leaders. He's several tenths to a full second off the pace compared to the leaders, and that is not insignificant here. And when DeMax catches him, it all depends on where DeMax catches him. If he catches him, like say going into turn 1 on the oval, he should be able to make that pass easy. But if he's got maybe on corner exit, for example, that's really going to hinder him.
Yeah, and especially if you were to catch him in kind of the middle of this infield section, maybe next time by, that would be really tough because it's just so few places to pass, and in the middle of the corner, it kind of the speed equalizes a bit between the slower cars and the faster cars, just because everybody's trying to get through there at the same speed. So it could be kind of bad for the 16 car. Depending on where Andrew Langley is when they catch him. So I guess he's got to try to build a bit of a gap here to protect himself, and so far he's done that. But if he can have a big enough gap, it won't matter as much where he catches Andrew Langley.
And the main key thing for him is we're coming up on 5 laps to go next time they get to the line. Time is running out basically for DeMax to pull a gap, for Zhao to close the gap, for Kanalka, McMillan, and Brennan to all try and close the gap. So There's only 5 more laps. I know each lap is very long here, but that's not a lot of laps.
No, you're right. I mean, it's just you've gone through this whole race now so far, trying to make a move, trying to make that pass. We've seen the 21 have a couple of shots at the 7 car, but now you've got less time left than you have you've already raced. So it's just it kind of slips past, it slips by the time, and just you have to make your move soon here to be able to gain the positions that you need and gain the points that you need in this race. It's going to be critical, but also you have to do it soon.
And Zhao just keeps missing turn 4. That's been his Achilles heel all day, as we see Varga finally made the pass on Brandon Smith. Now Jensen Noman is going to try and do the same, but okay, Varga's got about 4.5 laps now to try and close the gap. It's about 4 seconds between himself and Cameron Brennan. We'll see how close he can get, but that's a tall order.
Well, they're going to go too wide here down the hill through 7, 8, and 9, and we'll find out, I guess, later what happened between them.
Looks like they made it through safe.
Yeah, it should be good. But, yeah, you're right about the 9 car. I mean, now we get to see what kind of speed that car has in clean air with that big gap between himself and the 86 of Cameron Brennan. We'll see if he's able to make up enough time. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time left for him, but if he can make a lot of progress very quickly, he should be able to catch up to the top 5, and then he might be able to put a challenge on Cameron Brennan or whoever's in 5th at that point.
Yeah, and I don't. The main question is, when are these leaders going to catch the 20 to put him a lap down? Because Langley's not that far up the road, and I would expect within the next lap or so they would catch him. Because he's, like I said, he's not that far ahead. So for DeMax, right there, that is where Langley is. Wow. He's only about half a straightaway ahead at this point. So they may be catching his slipstream through 1 and 2, but this is really going to hurt them going through for the rest of this race.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to catch him in the infield section on this lap. That would be detrimental for the 16, and he was trying to build a bit of a gap to the 12, but look at that gap now. It is just pretty much non-existent. The 12 of AJ Zhao is right on the bumper of our leader right now with the lap car ahead. Here they go through turn 4, and the 12 misses it again. And wow, is this going to be enough for Kanauka to get to the inside? It won't be this time. Look how close the 7 is.
Yeah, that was really close to being a passing opportunity for Kanauka, but I don't think it was enough to get the 7 ahead. No, it isn't. But DeMax is still taking that wide line through turn 6, coming down the hill. I think Langley's going to do just enough to stay ahead in the infield section, but they may catch him at the final chicane, and that could really be bad.
Yeah, this is going to be tough, and you just see everybody kind of stacked up back there. When they start to pass Andrew Langley, and here they are catching him closely, and they've made it through most of the infield section now, so this should be good, at least for the leader, the 16 car, because he is probably going to pass him in turn 14 or 15 on the oval. Oh, maybe he won't. Maybe he's going to catch him in the chicane up there. I'm not sure. But this is going to be interesting because the 12 car has stayed fairly close here. So he's going to have himself an opportunity possibly to make the pass when Andrew Langley gets passed.
And you do got to feel bad a little bit for Andrew Langley. He started the playoffs so well with 2 wins at Chicagoland and Kansas, a top 10 at Talladega, but this is likely going to be a last place finish here at Denver. Critically, though, yeah, they are going to catch him on the exit of the chicane, and this is going to hold up the Max in a way he wasn't expecting. And look at how close the 12 is now.
Yeah, well, DeMax, he got a little bit stuck behind the 20. He didn't know which way he was going to go. He had to let off the throttle, and now the 12 is to his inside, going into turn 1 and 2, but he's going to go to the apron here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's loose on the apron.
Yeah, he got a little sideways, and that allowed the 16 to clear him once again. That was as close to a lead change as we were going to see all race long. As Kanauka is now through on Langley, McMillan should be no issue. The 20 is going to let him through pretty easily. Brennan looks like he's going to be side by side with the 20 through turn 4, and he should be able to get by as well without much issue.
And here comes the 21 on Kanauka, and this is the 3rd time he's attempted this move on the outside lane. We'll see, can he run that outside any better this time? I don't know. He's not going to carry a lot of momentum. The 7 is going to slide up ahead of him again. Man, 3 times in this race, Kanauka has defended that move. It's just got to be brutal for the 21 car to try that pass every single time, and then it never has worked out so far in this race, and you've just got so little time left. All the opportunities you've had, you've got to consider, what it would have taken in this race to make that pass, and so far he hasn't been able to do it.
Meanwhile, further back, we look at the rest of the top 10. Braden Varga has cleared Brendan Smith by 3 seconds, but he hasn't made any inroads on Cameron Brennan at all, so I think he's going to have to settle for 6th place, which is still a good day for Braden Varga considering he started in 11th. But I don't know if anyone's got anything for Eric DeMax now that they're clear of the lap traffic and we're coming to 2 laps to go.
So that I just want to circle back to that moment with Andrew Langley going through the leaders. I mean, with the 12 car, he had his best opportunity so far in this race to make that pass, and then he went so far down to the inside that he ended up getting loose on the apron. And let's take a look at the normal line that they drive through turns 1 and 2 here, and look at that. So the 16, he is just a little bit below the line, and so is the 12. The 12 car, when he went down in there, the 16 was about a lane and a half higher than normal. The 12 car, however, he went all the way down, and he was 4 tires and then some below that white line on the apron. I'm not totally sure why he did that, but he went down there. He got really, really loose because the banking falls off at that part of the track. That's why you want to stay a little bit higher to keep your speed up. You can keep full throttle through that area. I don't know why he did that, but that was the reason he didn't make that pass. If he had stayed up higher on the track, he might have gone into turn 3 side by side on the preferred lane, and he might have had an opportunity to make a pass in the 16, but it's not how it worked out for AJ Zhao, and now he's still looking at the rear bumper of his teammate.
And we're coming to the white flag this time. There's not a lot of opportunities left for AJ Zhao to try and make that pass again. And he's also got to worry about Kanalka, who's just been hounding his back bumper pretty much the entire race. Now, and it looks like we got a movement a little further back. Brennan's going to try and make a move for 4th on McMillan.
Wow.
Didn't I say it earlier in this race? Brennan was going to try something at the latter stages, and this is it right when it's happening.
Yeah, and that was he's tried something there before in this race, and he ended up not even side by side with him, but now look at him. He's staying up above that white line there because that's where the banking is. So he's good to go now into the chicane. This should be tight between these two side by side. Oh, wow.
He pinches McMillan onto the tighter line, and that allows Brennan to sail past into 4th place as the white flag flies. Eric DeMax just 1 lap away from his first career win.
Wow, and what a move it was from Cameron Brennan. I mean, to send it in there on the non-preferred lane in the chicane. I mean, it's a 1-lane part of the track, and he sent it down in there. And he used a lot of the track on exit of 18, but he made it work, and that was a fantastic move from Cameron Brennan. And we'll see, those points, it might not seem like a lot now, just a couple of points to get past him, but in the later stages of these playoffs, if it comes down to just a few points, we'll be able to watch that pass back and say that was where he was able to win the championship. That was where he gained enough points to get it done. Every single position matters so much when you're talking margins like this. So a great move from Cameron Brennan.
And critically, that also helps AJ Zhao. That bumps McMillan back a place, and that'll allow Zhao to close back in the process. But now, through turn 7, 8, and 9, now headed towards 10. Eric DeMax just a little bit away from home.
And this is going to be interesting. This is kind of our last area that you need to have a good run. If you're the 12 car, you've got to have a great run through their turn 11 right now. 12 and 13, you have to have a good exit so that you give yourself a shot in 16, 17, and 18. The 16 has been so good on corner exit today, though, and there he is again with a big run on the 12 car, and we'll see. I don't know if AJ Zhao is going to be close enough.
So coming through 14 and 15 for the final time. Just one more set of corners for Eric DeMax to try and navigate. 16 coming up. That's the hard braking zone. Down into the chicane. To the left now. Chicane corner. Now to 17 on the right-hand side. 18 on the left-hand side. Now he's home free. And for the first time in his one-up Nitro National Series career, Eric DeMax will be going to victory lane, and it will come at Denver Motorsports Park.
Wow, and what a great day to win the race. I mean, you lead wire to wire after sitting on the pole. Just a fantastic performance from the 16 car and from the whole team. Venta Motorsport, I mean, the 12 car as well, sitting there in the second position, a 1-2 finish for the two of them. A fantastic job from both of them to prepare those cars in such a great way. And then Cameron Brennan as well to get up there and get past Jake McMillan. A great job on the final lap to make that happen.
And now the gap between McMillan and Zhao is just 2 points heading to Las Vegas.
Wow.
That is going to be an epic showdown between those two for the championship. And who knows who else will be in contention. Eric DeMax is probably going to close into within 20 points as well. So don't count the 16 out quite yet.
Yep.
We could very well have a rookie champion between Zhao or DeMax. But McMillan is still going to be tough to beat, I can imagine.
Oh, definitely. And this is just a great day, in a day where the 21 car, our points leader, finishes in the top 5. We're still talking about drivers who were close in the championship, gaining more points on him and closing that gap. And I think that that's just great. It's a sign of health in this series, and it's a sign that this championship this year is going to be very exciting all the way to the end. of the season.
So coming out of the downhill chicane, it looks like, oh, Langley ran a little bit wide, Ironhouse ran a little bit. Oh, yeah, they come together, and O'Quinn was just a bystander in that whole mess. They all go sliding down the grass. It's very slick, that grass. And they almost, whoa, Robert Weaver almost got caught up in that as well at the back of the pack. What a good job he did to avoid those cars.
Yeah, and Langley, I think, like you said, he just went a little bit wide and he caught that grass on the left side of his car. Those tires started spinning, and as soon as he got back on the track, he just was out of room and sliding already. And the 8 was there as well, and that was just a tough break for all those drivers. Not really anything that could have been done. Just a lot of cars on the first lap of the race fighting for position, and then they end up sliding. It could have been a lot worse based on where they were in the field. If they had slid up into the pack, that could have been a disaster for a lot of drivers. But fortunately, that's not the way it worked out.
Absolutely. But that's going to do it for us from the Denver Motorsports Park Road Course, from Duke Ansack, and from myself as well. Thanks for joining us for an epic day of racing. We'll see you again next time out in a couple of weeks at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the third to last race of the Nitro National Series season. Jake McMillan leads the points, but it is very slim over AJ Zhao and our winner today for the first time in his career, Eric DeMax, in the 16.